welcome. Well, first, I guess, welcome back to ABA Generalized. I'm Erica, and we have my amazing twin-looking cousin with us today, who is here to talk about why she wants to be like me. Just kidding. No,
Oh
but
no.
but for real, to talk about how she is also actually following in my footsteps and she's an RBT right now, and she is in school becoming a BCBA. And I'm so very proud of her for all of these accomplishments that she is putting herself through, especially with grad school and doing research and all that fun stuff that we're going to dive into. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of just gave a little bit of a synopsis about my lovely cousin, who, by the way, I'm the favorite. So if Brian or any of the other cousins are listening, which they're probably not, I'm the favorite. Anyways, tell us about yourself, Lauren.
Okay. So I'm Lauren. I am 23 and I just started my first year in my master's program to hopefully become a BCBA. That's the plan. I am currently at Rutgers. Before that, I was in Towson University and I got my psychology degree from there. And I do a lot of stuff. Erica knows, but I do quite a bit of things. I'm an RBT, but I also do research in one of the psych labs at Rutgers, and I have research with another professor from my undergrad university. So I'm doing things all of the time.
Yeah, and not even just that, but like you are also an advocate for JRA. Do you want to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that real fast?
Oh yeah. So I do a lot of advocacy for chronic illness, and having arthritis. So I have an autoimmune disease, and something that I'm really passionate about is helping other people share their stories and also like sharing mine. So I've spoken on Capitol Hill before. I've spoken at like summits and a couple other events. It's just something that I really love. So that's just another part of it too.
What's JRA?
Juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. I've had it since I was 4, so I've been doing this a long time. Just growing up with a chronic illness and finding different ways to speak up for myself. It's just also given me another layer of like why I want to help people with disabilities. It just means so much.
That is awesome. I'm going to apologize. I have the baby and the cat going across my screen, so this is just going to be a fun episode. But and the cat goes by again. How did you get into the world of ABA?
So when I was in high school in my senior year, I was in an internship class and I couldn't quite figure out what I wanted to do like in psychology yet. I knew I wanted to do psych, I just didn't know what. And because I was not even 18 at the time, I couldn't work in like psychology offices and there were a lot of things that I couldn't do. So I was placed in one of the special education classrooms. And it was the first time I ever had the opportunity to work with populations that I hadn't before. And literally the first day I walked in, I was like, this is what I want to do. I worked with high schoolers at that time. And so that was really exciting to jump into something at an already underrepresented age group. So it was really cool. And it just, after that, I was still in high school and I got my paraprofessional certificate. So I passed my exam for that before I even graduated. So I could start working with them in the summer. So I could continue working, but like as an actual role and not just as an intern.
Wow. So, okay, so you've worked with high schoolers. What other ages do you currently work with?
I currently work with, my range is about 3 or 4 to the oldest range in the mid to late 20s. But I've worked with adults all the way up to age 65 before. So I've worked
You
with
have
a
a big
long
range of experience.
I've worked with a lot of different populations, and in the older population I worked with, I was at a wellness center. So we focused more on like recreational activities, which was it was so much fun. I taught a dance class with a few other people, and that was like the highlight of my semester that year.
That's amazing.
Well, we already kind of touched upon this, but so your current title that you hold within your practice is an RBT, correct?
Yes, I'm an
Do-
RBT, and I've been an RBT for 2 years.
Um, and like you're currently going to school for ABA.
Yeah, so I'm in my master's program for applied psychology. So it's master's in applied psychology with a concentration in ABA, which is really cool because I have the opportunity to also look into opportunities like an LPC if I'm interested in that. Like there's so many different roles that I can jump into with the type of program I'm in, it's been awesome.
And that's definitely the type of program that I think I had guided you towards. I said, you know, if you don't know exactly what you want to do, go for something that you can have multiple opportunities to do. Like how my master's is in, you know, psychology and applied behavior analysis, right? Like I can kind of figure out what I want to do while I'm in grad school, because this might not be your end all be all, right?
So can you just like kind of recap like where you went to school for undergrad and then where are you currently going to school for your master's program?
So I went to Towson University and my major there was psychology, but I did a minor in applied adult disability studies. And that really helped me to even further. Like I knew that this is the path that I wanted, but taking that minor gave me a lot of experience. And we had an internship service learning class, and that's where I worked at the wellness center. And it got cut short because of COVID, which was really sad, but I still got to work with populations I really wouldn't have had the opportunity to work with otherwise. And it was amazing. Like I love it so much.
Yeah, like I don't think any of us have worked with older, like past young adulthood. So that's, I mean, you already have like an upper hand there. Do you prefer that? Sorry, this is not a question that we have reviewed, but that's just how I do. Do you prefer working with adults over like the younger kids, or like what's your favorite age group to work with?
My preferred age group would be the adolescents to adulthood. I love working with that population. I work in a clinic right now, so I work primarily with adults in that setting, and it's the best experience I could get. Like as an RBT, just as someone who's interested in the field, I do both in my previous experiences and now I do community outings. We focus on skills like basic skills of daily living. So there's a lot of different things that I like about the freedom and independence that working with adults can be. And it's so much fun. And you get like the rapport I've built with some of my clients, like it makes my heart so full. Like I love it.
So what do you feel is the best part about being in school and working in the field at the same time?
So I'm a big nerd and I joke about that with like my supervisor all the time because I really like seeing the assessments. And I actually made a joke to one of my supervisors the other day. I was like, the day that we do an FA, I'm gonna be the happiest person alive. Like just wait. Which is really funny. But it's really it really helps me to understand the content because you can listen to things all day long, but when you're in a setting where you actually have to apply it, being able to back up what I'm doing with the knowledge from my class and from my supervisors and from the clinic or my in-home services, it's just been, I have such a more well-rounded understanding of what I'm doing. And I love it. It's made the biggest difference for me.
Yeah, I know that. So Anne and I were both in school and working as RBTs at the same exact time. And G was in school also at one point, and an RBT. And I mean, Anne and I can definitely attest to the fact that it makes it more comprehensive when you're able to do both at the same time because you're putting the pieces together. Like you're learning something in school now that you're going to find useful later, or maybe you're doing something in the clinic or like with the clients that you're going to find useful in your schooling later. I don't know, Anne, if you had anything that you wanted to touch on with that.
Yeah, well, is your school, because I think this makes a difference with juggling work and school life. Is it online? Is it in person? Is it hybrid? Like, what is the setup of it?
I'm in person. So it's a lot. I drive from whether it's my clinic or my at home to my classes at night. I do classes at night and then I'm right back in the clinic the next day for my next session, depending on.
Every night.
I've made my schedule so I have classes 3 days a week and they're the late night classes. So
That's a lot.
and it's been a lot. I've learned how to balance it and make sure I'm on track with everything that I need to be, but it's difficult, especially because I do a lot. I'm always doing something and I always take on more things. I'm a little crazy for that, but um, I've been able to really balance it all pretty well.
Oh, so it runs in the family.
Yeah, it does.
It's a family trait. It's fine. Like I said, we're like twins. It's okay. The only thing that sets us apart from being twins, Lauren, do you know what it is? What sets us apart? That Izzy and I both love that you don't.
Oh, they love pickles and olives. And
Pickles.
well, Izzy doesn't really like olives. You like olives and pickles.
Yes, but
I can't-
pickles.
Mm-mm,
She can't stand them. Can't.
not for me.
That is what sets us apart from being so similar.
Not for me. I think I actually DM'd Erica the other day. She'd put a picture of like a pickle on her story, and I sent her like the vomiting emoji. Like,
It's fine. It's all good. But no, so I can also like so Anne was remote or virtual, right? Like your classes were all online, whereas like
Yeah,
I
they
was in
were-
person too. So I understand where Lauren's coming from.
Yeah, like I did online because my daughter was 1 and I was like, okay, like I'm feeling good, like I want to go back to school. I took I guess a year or maybe closer to a year and a half off between my undergrad and grad school just to make sure like okay, if she can go to sleep and stay asleep while I do my classes, like we're good. So I felt like when she turned 1, that was a good time to start. And it was online, but the classes were live online a couple times, like 1 or 2 times a week, depending on how many classes. And it was for an hour. And like sometimes they were from 7 to 8. So she would be awake during that. And I would like start to do the bedtime routine while listening. So like that was hard for me to juggle. I could have never gone in person ever. Like, nope, that was not for me unless I waited until she was no. I couldn't even wait till she was older. That it just wouldn't be possible.
Anne, where'd you do your master's?
Purdue.
Okay, because that's where I started, and that was like I started
Yeah.
my master's, never finished it, so I give you lots of props for doing that because I couldn't. And that, like classes were sometimes like 9 to 10 o'clock at night, and I fell asleep several times listening to class.
Well, you also have a weird routine.
Just let it
You're
go.
a grandma. Let's
Yeah.
not to be ageist, but
Okay, for some context here, G wakes up. Okay, she goes to bed at like 7:30 p.m., maybe 8,
wakes
like
up at like
latest.
3.
And yeah, at 3, 4 a.m. Like I got a text from her. I mean, granted, she's doing some feedings and stuff right now. So like she's allowed to be up in the middle of the night. But even before that, like I would text her something maybe at like 7-ish at night, and I would get a response at like 4 a.m. And I
She's
mean,
like,
My phone goes on do not disturb at 7 p.m. and it goes off of do not disturb at 4 a.m. and I'm up usually at 3 a.m. if not earlier.
You sound like me. I'm up at 5 a.m. Like I'm ready.
I can't.
Not
I'm up at
this
5
week,
with
usually.
no choice.
Yeah.
Unwillingly.
Now I hate it.
See, mine is to get up and work out, and that's been a fail recently. It's been just like, let me just throw the workout at some other point in time. I can't get up. So I give y'all props for getting up early because my brain will not let me get out of bed. But yeah, so I also had to juggle like going to school in person and then doing that twice a week, I think, because I had 2 classes. I was not taking 3 classes. I was doing like the minimum. So my program was like 4 years part-time and brutal because it was a long time. And it included like summer classes and stuff and then practicum and internship. But yeah, I mean, you can't have a social life if you do all those things. And Lauren, I think you do have a social life because you have a significant other and you are trying to also do stuff for advocacy stuff, and bless, just
It's
bless.
been a lot. My
Bless your
classes are
little soul.
also, my classes are 3 hours long each.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
how long my classes were too. And it's a lot because you can't. So I remember this was my routine. I would like leave a client and drive about like 45 minutes to school. I would pick up a coffee on my way. I would make sure I had dinner with me, and I would go and just
Were you
like,
eating soup in your car?
this was
you were driving?
before soup weeks, okay? Pre-soup weeks, because your girl didn't want to carry around. No, I don't remember. I think I used to like make a lot of like salads and stuff, or sandwiches or something easy that I didn't feel weird eating at school, because sometimes it was back-to-back classes, and yeah. But anyways, no, it was not soup, Anne.
Alright, super, we really digressed here. Back on track.
Sorry, that's my fault.
Oh, okay. So going back into balancing grad school and being an RBT, what do you think is the most challenging about finding that balance?
I think it was just figuring out what my time management was going to look like, because on top of doing my classes and working with clients, I have to take into account writing session notes and getting my homework done and all the other things that I have to do. And so my first semester last semester was really about seeing, okay, how much is this on me? How much room do I have for myself to make sure I'm getting all the things that I have to get done? And I was able to find a better groove with it this semester. So now it should be much better jumping into my summer and then next year. Like I'm only doing one summer class. My program's only 2 years, so I should be done next spring, which is really exciting.
Because
But
you're full-time, right?
yeah, I'm full-time. Last semester it was 4 classes, and then this semester I took a break from 4 classes just because it was a lot. And then next
Yeah.
semester and the one after that, classes are like also our practicum counts, so it'll make it a lot easier.
Like, and then you're
Right.
doing research on top of that.
I am.
What kind of research are you doing? Can you
Yeah.
tell us?
So one of my I have 2 research projects right now.
And you just got a award about it, right?
I just presented.
Presented. Okay. Yes,
Yeah,
sorry.
so I
Keep
just
going.
presented research in the social psychology section of the Eastern Psychological Association conference, which was so much fun. I did it last year as an undergrad, but this year I was accepted as like part of the professionals and PhD and graduate student range. So that felt really good. And so that study was about empathy and like self-concept clarity. So that was a fun study.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I feel like I see on your Instagram, you're always doing something. And when you don't text me back, it's because you're doing something and you're
Doing
busy.
something.
So
Busy.
do you get any free time? And if you do, what do you do in your free time?
Yes, so I do get some free time. I spend time with my friends. Like I'm seeing some friends this weekend. I spend time with my boyfriend. So that's nice too. Just because I really am busy during the week. I try to find time, but like Monday through Friday, my schedule is working in the clinic every morning. And then sometimes in my at-home case, but then if I'm not in my at-home case, I'm immediately going to class. So I don't have a whole lot of free time independently. It's always
Do
like
you eat soup in your car?
I get coffee a lot. When Erica was talking about her routine, that's literally my routine. There's a Dunkin' up like as soon as I leave my clinic. That's the very first thing I go to. Like I'll stop at the Dunkin' and then just keep driving.
All right, on the count
Okay,
of
so
three,
you're a
Lauren.
safe driver.
Lauren, on the count of three, we're gonna say what our Dunkin' order is. Ready? Set.
Okay. I smoke a latte. What's yours? I want to know yours.
Well, I haven't really gotten Dunkin' much down here because the Dunkins are not great by me. But when I do get it, and I also started a subscription box for coffee. So I have 3 boxes of coffee in my fridge right now.
Oh
It's great.
God.
So I've been trying to limit my going out and buying coffee. But okay, so yours is a what? Iced mocha?
Iced mocha latte, yeah.
Ooh, that sounds like grandma's order. Grandma used to get that with extra whipped cream and extra mocha.
I'm the opposite. I don't put any whipped cream on it, but I love that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, grandma used to, because I had to make it for her when I worked at Dunkin'. Fun fact, if our listeners, I worked at Dunkin' for about 2 years. But yeah, so no, mine is a black iced coffee with caramel swirl and coconut syrup. So it's the sugar-free coconut, and it is so good. I don't put any cream in it. I don't put any sugar in it. It's perfect. Oh, and you got to get light ice, or else it's going to be like filled with just ice.
You have to get
Anyways,
it.
sorry, I digress. If you could give advice to an RBT or a BT out there right now that's thinking about maybe becoming a BCBA or even going through the master's program or anything along those lines, what would you give as advice?
My advice would be to try everything. I've tried in-home services, I've tried clinic. I haven't done school, but I've been a para out of school. So just try any setting, even if you're scared or nervous, like it's gonna be okay. At some degree, you'll get some support. So for me, I guess it would be really important to know, like, just get experience everywhere you can and don't shy away from opportunities.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. Yeah, you can't shy away from the opportunities. I'm sorry. Anne is typing, or not Anne, she is typing in our Google Doc right now that apparently like her child is chomping down on her finger.
I'm telling you,
chomping.
he's teething. Kid is teething.
But no, I think that it's wonderful advice. Definitely try everything. Don't shy away from opportunities that you are presented. I think that, like, personally, I mean, this sounds like you already, like, I'm a yes man. I will try everything and anything and just work through. If I have a situation that I can work through, if I can't, then I will be like, I will exhaust all my options until I can't anymore. But
also making sure you're taking time for yourself and having a work-life balance.
Yes, that's
Don't
something
burn
I'm
yourself
working on.
out. Yeah.
Make sure you do that. Don't overdo it. I'm not preaching to any choir. I'm just saying.
Does working in the field while you're in school make the schoolwork easier, do you think? Or do you understand what you're learning because it correlates to your day-to-day?
I think it's a little bit of both. I had a midterm for my functional assessment class, and I was talking to some of my supervisors about like certain situations, and I actually remembered the stuff that I had the conversations about during my exam, and that helped me to do well on it. And I feel like it's a balance between what we talked about before of hearing it and then applying it, but then it's also stuff that I may have already applied once or twice in my work setting, and being able to hear it like all clicks together, and it's really fun. I love it.
I got stuck on that you had a functional analysis class, and I did not have such a class.
I did.
What? I've been gypped.
That's my class right now. That's why I want to run an FA so bad. I'm so serious.
I had to do.
Unless I blacked out that whole time. I don't know.
It's possible. That's when my laptop died.
I think that you should have had that class because I did.
You had to have blacked that out because I had it, and it's when I had to do that mock behavior plan that my computer ended up dying right after I uploaded it to Dropbox, and I said, thank you, Dropbox, for actually taking my item before it died. But yeah, no, maybe go back and look at your transcripts, girlfriend. Like,
I don't even know where that would be. Well, I don't even know where I would look for that.
Okay.
All right. Well, on that note, Lauren, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about school and working in ABA. I really cannot believe that you're doing as much as you're doing. I give you so much credit because, again, I couldn't even finish I think I got halfway through my master's program and I was like, forget this. This is too much. So the fact that you're doing your master's working and all of the research and everything else that you're doing. I give you lots of credit. Of course, my child is going to start screaming. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for listening to ABA Generalized. If you would like to be on, please email us at aba.generalized.podcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at ABA Generalized the Pod. If you're watching us, you're doing great. We're at ABA Generalized. And then remember to rate, review, and subscribe.
ABA Generalized, the podcast, is not providing professional advice. Please seek a professional in your area for specific advice and support.